Have you ever gone to an expensive restaurant for a birthday or a link up? You'll order a side dish with a side of tap water, knowing full well that your bank account is below triple digits, only for someone to suggest that they all split the bill, a bill full of cocktails and steak. Or have you ever been the one to volunteer your card for a hotel booking, a restaurant bill, a holiday, only to have to chase people up for repayment, or even worse, charge a non-payment to the game? Forget interracial relationships, we're talking interfinancial relationships. See what I did there? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're good, hope you're well. I've just turned 30. I don't know if you know this because I don't really like to mention it, but I have just turned 30. And I feel like late 20s, early 30s is this kind of weird time where you're not necessarily experiencing the same life stage as your age mates. I feel like up until now, we all kind of shared the same financial position in life. We were all broke uni students at one point at the same time. Even after uni, we were all kind of like, I got a new job, you haven't got a job yet, but it's okay because I'm still broke, you're still broke. We're still in the same position, same life stage. Now, some of my friends are business owners, directors, some are teachers, some are unemployed, some are self-employed, some are mothers. Mothers.
You're a mother. A mother, Jay.
And we know that money can be the root of many problems, but not just in romantic relationships, in platonic relationships too. A study found that richer people categorically prefer to hang out with people who are on a similar or same or higher income than them. Just under half of the people that in this study that I found say that they prefer to socialize with people who are of equal means. But I want to know why. And I think the most obvious reason is just a practical clash, a social clash, a lifestyle clash. Your friends can afford that holiday. You can't. Or now you spend your weekends brunching and your friends can't afford to spend their weekends brunching. You work in the city with your finance bros and you go out after work with your finance bros. Your friend is an aspiring artist who spends evenings and weekends singing in the clubs and the pubs and the bars. Your lifestyles just don't match up anymore. We tend to spend our lives socializing with people who are similar to us, whether that be race, whether that be religion, whether that be culture, whether that be political views. It's quite rare to find like best friends who are completely opposite, who have completely opposing views, opposing lifestyles, opposing beliefs, opposing values, opposing personalities. And so yeah, I think that is the main reason. It takes more effort to make the relationship work. And if you're not intentional or if you simply don't want to, then that relationship will fade to exist. But then I think the real issue, the deeper issues lie in the emotional clash that can happen in a mixed wealth relationship, in a relationship where there is a wealth gap. What is our mental and emotional relationship with money? With those who have more and with those who have less? What goes through your head when you want to suggest an activity that you know one or a few of your friends cannot afford? Do you ask anyway and risk making them feel bad? Do you exclude them and risk causing offense? Do you simply not go and risk feeling resentment towards them? What about if you have a friend that's richer than you and they talk about money as though it grows on trees? Meanwhile, you're struggling to make ends meet. Do you feel a way towards their seemingly careless mindset? Do you think they're boasting? Do you think they're being too flashy? Are they being insensitive? We've all seen that Friends episode, the one with 5 steaks and an eggplant. I'm gonna insert a clip here.
Divided by 6, and everyone owes $28.
Everyone? No, no way. Sorry, not gonna happen. Rachel just had that little salad and Joey with his like teeny pizza. It's just...
Okay, Phoebes. Shh. How about we'll each just pay for what we had, okay? It's no big deal.
Not for you.
Joey, Rachel, Phoebe are kind of feeling a way about the fact that they, not that just that they earn less than the other 3, but that Monica, Chandler, and Ross don't seem to acknowledge and kind of being insensitive about the fact.
We 3 feel like that sometimes you guys don't get that We don't have as much money as you.
It seems to me that the tension isn't caused by the wealth gap in and of itself, but rather the lack of care and consideration shown by the wealthier friends. Ross says,
I guess I just never think of money as an issue.
to which Rachel replies,
That's because you have it.
That's a good point.
she felt a way towards his blasé attitude towards money when she just didn't have the luxury of not thinking about money, which tends to be the case. When you have money, money is no longer an issue, and therefore you don't really think about money as much. Whereas when you're struggling, when money is the biggest cause of your stress, that's all you're going to think about. There is something interesting about the way that we view people based on their financial position and their relationship with money. I've read somewhere that the more somebody earns, the more they actually start to think of money as a direct result of hard work and perseverance. And whilst, of course, a lot of people do earn money through hard work and perseverance, a lot of studies have actually shown that most people who are wealthy are not wealthy because of hard work and perseverance. It's usually some other factors like luck, inheritance, etc. But if we're saying that people do have that mindset, what judgments can that leave if you are the richer friend? Would you begin to question whether you need more ambitious friends? We've heard you should be the poorest person out of your friendship group or something. I don't know. Basically, surround yourself with successful people, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard that rhetoric. That feeling of, I need more ambitious friends, will that roll into resentment? Would you start feeling like your friends are holding you back because you've got no one to go to Hakkasan with on the weekend? Are you wrongfully viewing your friends as lazy and less intelligent? Let's not pretend that a lot of people with money and success look at people without money and success and just think that they don't want it enough. They're lazy. They're not hardworking enough. And if you're the friend with less money, do you view yourself that way? Are you projecting onto other people? There's so many ways that we could look at this. And then, come on, we know how people feel about the rich, okay? In the society, the culture, the country that I live in, we don't love the rich. We don't. So if you're the person with less money, can resentment grow on your side? Is there any jealousy? Question mark, question everything, as I always say. Or like Rachel, Joey, Phoebe, are you just very annoyed about your friend's lack of sensitivity, lack of care towards your financial situation? So many questions to ask. In fact, going back to that Friends episode, when they did open up and say what the problem is, everybody tensed up.
Okay.
I hear you. We can talk about that.
And that leads to an important point, which is that we as a society do not like to talk about money. In many places, in many cultures, in this culture that I'm sitting in right now, talking about money is still a little bit taboo. Historically, wealthy people didn't have to talk about money because it was obvious that they were wealthy. They had land, they had properties, they just had assets. It was very obvious who was in the upper echelons of society. As time went on, the lines became a bit more blurred. It wasn't just about assets. We had cash money now, and people were moving into sort of middle class, working class to middle class to upper middle class to whatever. But that old money mentality of not talking about money, about it's very crude, it's very crass because the rich never talk about what they have. That has very much translated into everyone in society. It's changing now, I think. People are very much talking about, if you don't talk about the salary, the only person that profits is the employer, which is very true. We need to talk about financial literacy to our children. We need to It's changing, but it is still a bit taboo. So what do we do? Because I would say, and I do believe, that communication is key. But if you rewind this video 30 seconds, I literally have just said that as a society, we don't like to talk about money. So how can we communicate something that people are uncomfortable communicating? I've definitely been guilty of suggesting things that are pricey, suggesting pricey activities, pricey holidays, whatever, with the assumption that people can just tell me if they can't afford it, and I won't feel away if someone can't afford it. If I couldn't afford something that someone was suggesting, I'll say, listen, that's not in the budget. I'm broke. All of the above. I I can't be there. But that's me assuming that everybody is going to be as comfortable as me to say that, oh, I ain't got the money for that. When I don't know the relationship that someone has with money, the emotional relationship that someone has with money, or that they have with their current financial situation. But I still stand by what I said. I think communication is key, because the more that we talk about money in every capacity, the less taboo it becomes. Simple maths. Now, use wisdom, of course. I'm not going to start flipping and giving my bank statement to my little cousins, knowing full well that when Christmas comes, they're going to be asking me for bare things, and that's not in the budget. I don't talk about money with everybody. You might not even want to tell your parents how much you earn. That's a thing. Use wisdom, but I still think that communication is key. I still think that we should communicate when we can and when we can't afford something. I still think we should communicate generally about, it doesn't have to be about your money, but just generally about money, about savings accounts, about, oh, look, this is a great investment. Hey, friends, you should get in on this. I think there's also a question of what should I do depending on which side of the wealth gap I sit on. It might be very clear to you. You might be balling, or you might be broke, or you might be somewhere in the middle where you have friends who are doing a bit better than you and friends who aren't. But in any given situation, which side of the wealth gap are you sitting on? And I think that might determine the way that you should move. I think for me, communication is more important when I'm on the lower side of the wealth gap, because I don't want to be like countless stories I've read of people who go into debts, monetary, financial debts, just trying to keep up with friends. And I also don't think that people should be afraid of losing friends because they can't keep up, because ideally a good friend would not ditch you for not keeping up. Also, I think it's important to be proactive. If you feel like you are inconveniencing your friends, which once again, that shouldn't be the feeling, because true friends are not going to feel like you're inconveniencing them because of a financial situation that you can't help. But if you feel like you're inconveniencing them, then be proactive and you make suggestions. How about you suggest that your friends come over and you cook for them? How about you suggest a movie night with friends? Not in the cinema, in someone's house. How about you suggest a coffee catch up? How about you suggest a hike? Hot girls love a hike and it's free. And if you're on the higher end of the spectrum, I just think it's very important to be considerate. That would be my main thing. Be considerate. Also, you suggest more affordable hangouts. It's not every day you must be eating in Sexy Fish and Hakkasan and Ivy Asia. Nando's is okay too. I also think if you are on the richer side of the gap, that you need to think about what role generosity plays in this friendship. Are you able to treat your friends? I think generosity should be practiced at all income levels. I think definitely, because I don't believe in, oh, I'm stingy when I'm poor, but when I'm rich, I'm going to be generous. No, probably not. Probably not. You're probably going to be rich and stingy. So although I think everyone should be generous with what they can be generous with, I think if you are, you're wanting to do something, question, can I pay for this twice so that I get to experience it with my friends? Keyword, get to. Not that you're doing charity or you're like, oh, come on, then I'll pay for you. No, I want to experience this thing with my friend, and can I afford or can I stretch to make it happen for them? In fact, as a good friend, are you not going to enjoy it more? Are you not going to enjoy it more knowing that not only am I experiencing something I really want to experience, I also got to give a gift in the process. Again, be wise. Don't go broke trying to impress people, or don't think that, oh, I have money and I'm just going to be giving my friends all these things. Because there's also, I read stories of people who feel like their friends just use them for their money, or their friends automatically assume that because they have more money that they should be the one to foot the bill, etc. Don't use wisdom. But in a healthy relationship, treat your friends, man. Treat your friends. And again, I think communication is key. For example, you want to go to Dubai for your birthday, okay? Communicate to your friends. I would love for you to be there. I would absolutely love if you could make it work. However, I very much understand if people cannot afford to come, or this is not in your budget. Tell them that it's okay and let it actually be okay. Don't hold on to that. Don't hold resentment. I think that is a better tactic than just excluding people. You might think that you're sparing people a few blushes because, oh, I know they can't afford it. I know they're going to say no. But no, actually, you're just not being very nice. And I think where you can, make group plans with the lowest income in mind. You know, if you're talking about celebrating your own birthday, do what you want. But if we're talking about, oh, let's go on a girls' trip, how about we plan this girls' trip with the lowest budget in mind and work our way up from there? Maybe when you get there are things, maybe you can upgrade your room. Maybe you can book that extra thing that you wanted for yourself, but let's plan with the idea that this is accessible for everybody. In short, let's use sense with a dash of kindness, dash of generosity, and all the other good stuff. Let me know what you think. I feel like this whole friendship gap, mixed income relationships is not really something that we speak about or even think about consciously, but it's definitely a thing. It definitely happens naturally. Even if the gap isn't huge, money, not everybody has the same money in their account. And so I think this is just something that is nice to be aware of. Don't let things like this creep in and ruin a good thing, because it doesn't have to. Now, if we're talking relationships, not joking, I'm not getting into that. But let me know what you think of this video. As always, like and comment your thoughts down below. If you're not subscribed and you enjoy this video, subscribe so that you can see more videos like this. Check out similar videos right here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.